Welcome to the Center for Student Learning Study Skills Workshop, Upgrade Your Strategies. My name is Melissa Hortman, and I am the Study Skills Coordinator in the Center for Student Learning, and I will be speaking today for this presentation. In this presentation, we will discuss how to upgrade your note-taking and reading strategies. You have probably been doing one or both of these skills before, and this presentation is not to tell you how to do either of these skills. This presentation is to give you tips on how to enhance your skills in these strategies. These two skills can definitely be the make or break of your college success because every course you take on this campus will have one or both of these skills integrated into it to be successful. First, we will talk about enhancing the way you take notes. Let's think about this question before we begin discussing note-taking skills. The first step in taking notes is finding a way that you can organize them. Be sure you are organizing your notes not just within them, but also in the bigger scheme of things. Put all of your notes for one class in a specific place that will allow you to access them easily, like a separate binder for each course. What are some of the ways that you have organized your notes in the past, and how can you enhance your organization for the amount of classes and information included in them? On the screen, you will see many different methods of organization you can use to write out your notes. There are a lot of different methods to choose from. Some are just written note organization, while others are graphic organizers, where you can use visual representations for connections and organizations in your notes. Don't feel like you need to take notes always in the same outline form, since that is the way you've always done it. Try different methods for different courses. This could open up a lot of new opportunities to become involved in what you are learning in your note. Although the methods are all different, they have a very similar structure. There is always pre-taking notes, during taking notes, and post-taking notes tasks that need to be done. The pre, during, and post is an important structure because it gives you the full look at the information in the notes, making sure you always understand and fill in what you don't know before you move on. If you don't review your notes within 24 hours of taking them, either from your reading or class, you lose more than 80% of the knowledge learned during that time. So be sure you are always reviewing to understand what is in your note. Some of your courses may require you to take notes from different types of texts, whether it is textbooks, articles, or online readings. You should always be prepared to take notes when reading any of these texts. Sometimes we are unsure of how to differentiate taking these notes versus taking notes in the classroom. While reading, you want to be active, so always read with a pen or writing utensil in your hand. And just like the methods of organization, you will need to do a pre, during, and post to really be active while taking notes from texts. Everything that is assigned reading is important, so throw away that highlighter because discerning what is important by highlighting it will never work. You will end up highlighting the whole page. Instead, read a section of the text, then go back and write your notes from it to actively draw connections and pull out themes from the reading. By doing this, you are also not interrupting your reading while in a section. So read the section, then write your notes from it when you are done to remember what you just read. It is important to take notes from text while you read to be sure you are understanding and remembering what you are reading so you won't have to reread and relearn the information all at once before the exam. Taking notes in class is difficult because you are trying to listen to your professor and learn from them while taking notes of all the things they say because it is all important. The average lecturer speaks about 125 to 140 words per minute, and the average note taker writes about 25 words per minute. This is a huge disconnect if you are trying to take notes in class and learn at the same time. Like from texts, be sure you are selective in what you write down. Maybe reading your texts or acquiring the professor's presentation slides before class can inform what you should write down. Get creative in how you take notes so that you are able to really use these notes afterwards for your benefit in studying. If you get permission of your professor, you may be able to record lectures or take pictures of the notes on the board. These are both great ways to get the information while being able to listen. Taking notes in class is important to learning and triggering your memory of what was covered in class. This simple act can make you more active in your learning and in turn make you remember more information for your exams. Taking notes with technology is a great option if this is something that you have available and if you are willing to put in the time and effort to make it work. There are many options out there to take notes on a mobile device or laptop. However, finding the right one for you and your organizational method may take some time experimenting. Everything I am sharing today is free and easy to use. There are a lot of apps out there that you can download to help you organize notes. Evernote is a very powerful app that allows you to take notes in many different formats, organize them into different folders, and tag the content to be easily searchable when you're looking for words or topics. Evernote syncs information across the cloud and can be accessed on a mobile device or other computer. GoodNotes is a very similar app. One of the pluses about this app is that you can upload pictures and PDFs into the note pages and annotate on them. This can be useful for annotating on resources your professor gives you, scanned texts, or syllabi. Popplet is the last app I will talk about today. Popplet is a very simple app where you can create a mind map of boxes that can connect. You can write, type, add pictures, color code, and do other personalized things to these boxes. You can share a mind map with others and can all edit it. This would be useful for group projects and sharing notes with other students. There are also programs that will allow you to sync your notes across many devices. Dropbox is a free program where you can share files across devices and with other people. G Drive is a part of Google, which each CSC student has a Gmail address, and you can access G Drive to create or upload documents to edit and share across devices that can be accessed from anywhere. Notes is a part of Gmail as well as a free app included on any iPhone. Notes allows you to take separate notes that will be dated and synced across your devices. All of these apps and programs can be very useful for those that want to completely switch over to technology when taking notes. Remember, this way of taking notes isn't for everyone. If you need to write things out to understand or remember them, then this may not be the best method for you. Now we will talk about enhancing your reading strategies. Let's think about these questions before we begin discussing reading skills. Active reading is one of the best ways to be sure you are really understanding and learning what you are reading. There are some things that you should do to be active in your reading besides reading with a pen in your hand. Techniques included are those that will make you interact more with the text. Make sure when you are sitting down to read that you know the purpose of reading the text. Is it for class discussion? Will there be a quiz on it? Do you have homework questions from it? This will give you an outlook on how fast or in-depth you need to read the text. While reading, you should make connections to main themes, what you heard in class, bolded words on the page, and what you have read before. This helps you to make the reading relevant and fit into what you are learning. Asking questions, predicting, and summarizing are all good things to do while reading to be sure you are understanding the information and thinking forward. Taking time while reading to visualize and synthesize information to make sure you are stopping and checking for understanding by clarifying what you are visualizing and synthesizing. Active reading may take a bit more time when you sit down to read, but you will get so much more information and retention out of your text. Most students feel a challenge with reading is that they read too slow. To get faster and better at reading and understanding, you need to practice, practice, practice. The average college student is normally reading at about 450 words per minute. If you want to work up to this speed or faster, then this speed will take time implementing some new techniques and practicing a lot to get to that point. That is why high-level executives and college professors read at a faster rate than college students. They've had a lot of practice reading and understanding throughout their life and career to get to that point. Watch this short video on ways to increase your reading speed.
How to speed read. Improve your efficiency by learning how to read up to 3 times faster with these proven speed reading techniques. You will need discipline and practice. Step 1. Skim an entire article, chapter, or even book before you begin reading. Take in the title, introduction, any subheadings, and bold type passages so that when you start reading, you'll already know the selection's main points. Step 2. Lead with your index finger, a pen, or your computer mouse, which keeps your eyes focused and moving ahead. This prevents them from darting around rereading words, something the average person does to the tune of 20 words per page. Move your pointer at a faster rate than you think you can read, which will retrain your brain by forcing you to keep up. Step 3. Stop sounding out each word in your head, or mouthing the words silently. 2 things many of us learned to do in grade school. U.S. Air Force research shows your brain can recognize a word in less than 5/100ths of a second, while it takes 1/4 of a second, 5 times longer to say it in your head. Step 4. Learning not to sound out words will help you chunk, a technique that requires you to group together 4 or 5 words by skipping articles like the and. You'll still get the meaning, since these words are not needed for comprehension. Step 5. Train yourself to stop taking a short pause after each paragraph, something most of us do unconsciously. When reading a passage on a computer screen, try highlighting the text in a dark color and changing the font color to white. Your eyes can more easily read white words on a dark background. Step 6. Practice these techniques for at least 20 minutes a day, starting with books and articles printed in large fonts. As you practice, you'll learn how to prioritize content, speeding you along even more. Did you know? John F. Kennedy, a student of speed reading, told a reporter he could read 1,200 words per minute, although he later admitted to exaggerating that number.
Every course you will take will have different reading types and different purposes for reading. For this, you will need to know the purpose of the text first and what you need to draw from it to know your speed to read the text. Each course will have a different objective for reading texts, so in turn, you will need to vary your reading speed for each type of course text. For example, in your humanities classes, you will have in-depth readings where you'll have to draw logical inferences, while in mathematics course readings, it is just to identify and contrast formulas. Reading for humanities may take more time because of the depth of understanding that needs to be done while reading, versus mathematics where it is understanding through identifying. Do you ever wonder why some texts are much easier to read and understand than others? What does considerateness mean in terms of reading type? Considerateness in this context means how easy the text is to read and understand. Sometimes your assigned readings were not intended for students to read in the context that you're reading them. They may have been written for research journals or other high-level comprehension. The reading may make sense to your professor, but not to you because of this reason. Look at the type of reading you are assigned and think about the considerateness of the text before you begin reading so you know what speed to read at and if you will need supplemental material to help you get through the reading. More professors are assigning readings off of the internet or through OAKS. This is a different type of reading again since you are not able to annotate on the text or physically have it with you. If you want more of a traditional feel while reading, you can calibrate most screens to portrait mode to make reading a bit easier. It is also proven that light words on a dark background is better for you. And most of the time we are reading dark words on a light background. But this can be switched in most settings to make reading on a screen easier on your eyes. If you have a hard time reading on a screen or travel a lot and have a hard time completing all of your reading, you can use the Kick Scanner on the first floor of the Addlestone Library. In about 5 minutes, you can scan a whole chapter of a physical book and turn it into an audio file. This is great for auditory learners or those that spend a lot of time commuting. Listen to the recording I made the other day out of a book, emailed it to myself, and open it in my iTunes as an MP3 file.
16 Ingenious like creativity. At first glance, the innovation engine might look complex. Over the course of this book, I will take apart the innovation engine and examine its 6 components. I will then put it back together and show how all the parts work in concert and influence one another to enhance creativity. You will find that the innovation engine snaps into focus as we explore each of the components and see how they fit together. I will concentrate on the parts of the innovation engine that you directly control: imagination.
This concludes the Upgrade Your Strategies workshop. If you have any further questions about this workshop or the content, please come to or contact the Center for Student Learning at 843-953-5635. We are located on the first floor of the Addlestone Library off of Calhoun Street and are also mobile at csl.cfc.edu. Please take a look at our other videos available for other topics and online library of handouts as a resource. We hope to see you in the CSL soon.